Here we will see perturbation theory. So where this perturbation theory is useful? In those cases where you cannot solve the system exactly. So you know, in the case of a small harmonic oscillator, there your Hamiltonian was given by this form. So here in this case, so this was an exactly solvable system. So for this case, when you apply this Hamiltonian, the wave function psi, which is postulated to contain all the information. So I am using a Dirac notation. So I have represented this psi in ket form. So you will get an energy, right? So this is Schrodinger's time independent equation. Earlier you have seen Schrodinger's time dependent equation, how it looks. Okay, so this is time dependent, and this one is time independent. So when you solve for the energy using quantum mechanics, so by quantum mechanics I mean when you solve energy of this eigenvalue equation, what energy you get? You get discrete energy. So this is the energy that you get, right? So what this n represents, it represents the different state this simple harmonic oscillator can be in, right? So for n equal to 0 state, right? So let's suppose this is represented by say 0, and this n equal to 1 state. So what energy this is having? It is having energy of half h cross omega, and this one n equal to 1. So when you plug n equal to 1 here, so 1 plus half becomes 3 by 2. So 3 by 2 h cross omega. Okay, similarly the next state psi 2. So psi 2 will be 5 by 2 h cross omega. So and so on up to psi n you can go, right? So here you have expanded this psi as a linear combination of the all possible eigengates. So and so on. So you don't know in which state your system can be in. It can be in this psi state 0 state also, it can be in psi 1 state also. So there are many possibilities, right? So in case of Stern-Gerlach experiment, you have seen the beam of silver atoms when it passes through magnetic field. So it can either point up or it can point down. So there were two alternatives, there were two paths which the silver atom can follow. It can either go up or it can go down. That's why you were getting two heaps of silver atom deposition. Likewise for a small harmonic oscillator, it can be in any energy state. So if somebody asks what is the ground state energy of simple harmonic oscillator, what you have to say? This one, half h cross omega. So this was the case for exactly solvable system. So you can calculate exactly what is the energy. So this is how the energy looks like. Now things to notice here is that different states, right, all have different energy. No two states have same energy. So no two states having same energy are called non-degenerate state. So non-degenerate. Means no two state will have same energy. So perturbation theory are again of two type, degenerate and non-degenerate. Degenerate and non-degenerate. Okay, so So it can be of two type. So here we will see non-degenerate perturbation theory. So non-degenerate means all states, means no two states can have same energy. So where this perturbation will be helpful. So suppose you add an extra term here. Let's suppose this extra term. Now it is not exactly solvable. Now when you solve, you will not get this n plus half h cross omega, right? So this extra term is called perturbation to the unperturbed. This is the unperturbed, means this is exactly solvable Hamiltonian. So when you add an perturbation, your energy will also change. Okay, so we assume, see, this is the energy, right? This is the energy E naught, and this is the energy E1, this is the energy E2. So we say when you add a perturbation, so energy goes this way. There will be an extra term added. First order correction, right? Second order correction. So these extra terms will be added, and when there is no perturbation, means epsilon is 0, so you are left with E equal to E naught. So this represents the ground state. So you can take any state, right? You can take any state, E is open. So any state will be represented by this way. So likewise your wave function will also change. So when you add a perturbation, how your energy was changing? Your energy was going this way. First order correction, second order correction. Okay, so you have to calculate what are E of 1, E of 2, all these you have to calculate, right? And in this case, first order correction, second order correction, so on. So in general you have written in this form. Likewise this wave function will also go. So in general this will go like this. So whatever I am calling this the zero state, right? So this is 0 means unperturbed, exactly solvable one. Now there is a extra term, first order correction to this gate, second order correction, and so on. Okay, so this is the ansatz. Ansatz means this is the means we are proposing that energy and eigengate will vary this way. We are proposing. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to put this one in this here. So H will be replaced by this one, this whole thing. Let's call this one H naught, right? So H naught for small harmonic oscillator takes this form, and for other system H naught can be of different form. Okay, so this H will be replaced with H naught plus epsilon, this extra perturbative term, and E will be replaced with this E will be replaced with this one, and psi will be replaced with this all these terms. Okay, all these terms. So let's substitute these things in the equation. So we have to substitute here. So H will be replaced by H naught plus this perturbative term. So when you plug it here, what you get, this psi will be replaced by So since now we will consider correction up to first order, means we will collect only the epsilon term, epsilon to the power 1 term. So we are ignoring the rest term, means epsilon square, psi n, prefix 2, we are ignoring all those now. Now E will be replaced by this one. So E in general for nth state energy eigenvalue will be En. So En will be replaced by this one. Since we are considering up to first order correction only, we are ignoring the rest of the term. Now you see here, this H naught will go over these two terms. And epsilon and this is equal to again En plus now you see this equation you see. So when H naught will act on psi of n, what eigenvalue you will get? You will get this one. Since this is the eigenket of this Hamiltonian, so this is the unperturbed eigenket and this is the unperturbed Hamiltonian. So this will give you En superscript 0. Now this will act here and you don't know what is the eigenvalue here, so we leave it simply this way. And now again this term you consider. See, epsilon with epsilon, it will become epsilon square, so we will ignore it because we are considering correction up to epsilon only. Now epsilon now consider the second one. The next term will be 0. Why? Because it will be epsilon square and we don't want epsilon square, so we simply put it 0. Means we are ignoring it. Now you see this one will get cancelled with this one. So what we are left with are the epsilon term. So up to first order correction, what you get, you can cancel epsilon from all side. So you get finally and this is equal to okay. Now here we will use one trick. We will use one trick. What trick we will use? So first I will copy this one. You see here, you see psi 0, psi 1, psi 2, all these are the different state, and all these states are orthogonal to one another. Orthogonal means if you take any state, let's suppose m can be 0, means it means this state, right? And let's suppose it is 1, means this state. So if you take bracket of two different state, this will be equal to 0 for m not equal to n. Okay, so this trick we will use. So when we apply that trick here, what we will get, let's multiply throughout by this one, right? So we are multiplying with this bra. So when you multiply with this bra, what you will get, on right side you get, this is the eigenvalue, it will come out. Now you see, we want first order correction. We want first order correction in energy. Means what? Means you take any nth state. So if it is unperturbed means you will get this one. Means unperturbed means it is exactly solvable, right? So, and when you add a perturbation, so when you add a perturbation to the exactly solvable system, there will be correction. So we have already seen how the correction goes. First order correction, second order correction, right? We are interested up to first order only, so we will consider this first two term only and we will neglect this term. So first order correction means you already know what is this ease of 0. You have to calculate what is ease of 1. What ease of 1 means, this one you have to calculate, correct? So when you take m and n both different, means this term will 0 and we cannot find ease of n, so we take m equal to n. In that case what happens? In that case you get size of n, because you are taking m equal to n. Plus and this is equal to this is n. Okay, now you see this H naught operator. So this H naught operator is an Hermitian operator, means either it acts on this ket or it acts on this bra, right? Result is same. So when it acts on this ket, you know this is an eigenket, this one is an eigenket of H naught, so it will give you what? This one. This is the eigenvalue you will get, and you are left with. So one may ask how you can get this eigenvalue, because we know that for this exactly solvable thing, you get energy eigenvalue this one. This we know, right? This we know already. From here we say that the result of operation to this ket will give you this one. And since for Hermitian operator the eigenvalues are real, so this star or without star result is same. Means you take complex conjugate or don't take complex conjugate, result will be same, because these are all real values, not complex value. If it is a complex, then there can be a change of sign. And here you get now thing to note here is that you can cancel these two terms, both are equal. What you are left with is this one. And denominator this will come. This is your first order correction energy. So you have successfully calculated what is of 1, right? So you can plug it here and then you can find what is your first order correction in energy. So how to calculate the first order correction in energy? Just you have to take the expectation value. Okay, so suppose your Hamiltonian composed of two parts. One is the exactly solvable part and there is a perturbation added, right? So perturbation, let's suppose here is x, right? So in this case I ask what is the first order correction in energy. So what you will do, you will take the expectation all right. So this is how you can calculate. So what is the size of, these are the eigenket of unperturbed Hamiltonian. So these are the eigenket of this Hamiltonian. So this is the first eigenstate, this is the second eigenstate, this is the third eigenstate, okay, and so on. So you have understood how to calculate first order correction in energy. So now it is your task to calculate the first order correction in ket. So what is the first order correction in the eigenket? So since there is a perturbation, so there will be an extra term, right? So for this case it will be 1. So your task is to calculate this one. Calculate what is first order correction in this. So this is it for this video. In next video we will see time dependent non-degenerate perturbation. Thanks for watching.